Welcome back to Power Lunch. Well, Grand Parade's subsidiary GPI Slots has concluded an agreement to buy the shares and operations of the business that owns hot slots in Gauteng. And at the same time, the Mpumalanga Gambling Board has approved the transfer of a limited payment machine route operator's license that has been held by GPI Slots to Grand Parade Gaming Mpumalanga. The chairman and founder of Grand Parade Investments, Hassan Adams, is in our Cape Town studio. Good to have you on the program, Hassan. Well, you're a man who knows a thing or two about the gaming market, as you guys like to call it. The rest of us call it gambling. But you need to give us some insight into what these limited payout machines are, or how they contrast with the one-armed bandits you find in your casinos.
Yeah, hi Alec. I haven't been able to speak to you for a long time. Nice speaking to you again. Can I just say that you know, the LPM is a specific market that deals with you know, slots in pubs or slots in sporting venues, etc., etc. So it's 5 slots per venue, and to the extent that we've also been able to achieve 40 slots in specific venues in Gauteng. It's a limited payout machine, which means that you are only allowed to have a maximum bet of 5 Rand and a maximum payout of 500 Rand. And that's going to change very soon, because legislation is being introduced to increase that to maximum bet of 30 Rand and a maximum payout of 3,000 Rand. Now, that has not been put through government yet, but I think it's in the process of being put through government or promulgated, whatever you want to call it.
Now, that's interesting. So you can have a 30 Rand bet per, do you pull a handle in the same way as you would with a one-armed bandit?
It's exactly the same machine, you know. It's exactly the same machine, except that it's a limited a game that you play, so that you can't go and throw your whole salary or life earnings into it. But the results are exactly the same, and you can have a multiple bet where you can have multiples of 5 Rand and still win a substantial amount of money, or play with a substantial amount of money. With the introduction of a maximum bet of 30 Rand and a maximum payout of 3,000 Rand, it will change that market significantly. At the moment, we've seen that some of our machines, like for instance in the Western Cape, are giving us huge gross gaming revenues, which is still below the casino levels, but getting closer.
Hassan, this was supposed to be a very big market. There's something like 50,000 machines potentially that, or licenses that could have been issued, and yet only around 7,500 have seen the light of day so far. What's holding it up?
Now look, I think that you've got to understand that the process is quite onerous, you know, and I think that it's the right thing also, because, you know, what has happened is that because these are small businesses and gives sort of rise to better entrepreneurial opportunities, the gaming boards or the government insists that they have to comply with, you know, strict rules and regulations, which means that they have to be tax compliant, business license compliant, etc., etc. And we as the operators are forced to make quite sure that that happens. So we go through a process of making quite sure that we take people along that has never been in this sort of formal approach of business, and once they get through the approval phase, they're ready to operate. Now, in our case, we've done very well. We've taken them along, and in Cape Town, we've nearly rolled out 1,000 machine licenses, and in Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal, especially in KZN, we've increased it substantially. In Gauteng, there's been problems with the Gauteng Gambling Board, and they've now been reconstituted, so that rollout will happen very quickly too. So, you know, from having an allocation of 50,000 machines for the industry, I think it's going to take some time before we get there. But, you know, it's GPI's intention to grab about 7,500 machines as part of the 50,000. We are standing now with with 6,000 machines which we are allowed to roll out.
So you're the dominant force here. Just a small point. I went through probity, as you call it, when I was selected to the Mpumalanga board some years ago, and it's a heck of a process. Do people have to do that as well when they have these LPMs?
Yeah, it's not as rigorous as when you're a key employee. You know, I mean, in my case, I go through serious probity every year because I represent, you know, the company nationally. There are softer versions of probity for these end users. You've got to understand that the guy who has the machines in his premises is the site operator, and we as the operator have to go through strict probity because we deal with the actual gambling side of things, and they house these machines in their facility, and we have to give answers to the gambling board in terms of compliance and all sorts of protocols. In actual fact, all of these machines are linked through a central monitoring system which is run by Zonki, so that you know, everything gets monitored in the right way.
So you've got the lion's share of what is out there at the moment, but it was interesting as well, digging around in your accounts, to see that you want to be vertically integrated. You actually want to make these machines in South Africa as well through your company called Grand Mercure. Have you started manufacturing yet?
Look, Alec, I travel the world because I couldn't believe that a machine like a slot machine can cost as much as a motor vehicle, and to my amazement, that I found that there's not one company in this country that manufactures. So we've gone out of our way to seek you know, ways and means to manufacture. We've signed an agreement with the biggest manufacturer in Europe called Mercure, and also signed an association agreement with Telumet, which was the old Plessy factories in Cape Town. And to our amazement, they have all the competencies to roll out the circuitry and the switchboard and the switchgear in these machines. And we will be manufacturing our own machines shortly. We've bought a premises which now houses Telumet in Atlantis, and soon we'll be creating a lot of work in Atlantis and be rolling out these machines. We believe that the first machines will come out by the end of this year, hopefully, and we have already got the prototypes being tested on the floors at our slot venues, at some of the casino venues, and it's proven to be very successful.
That's a good news story, bringing manufacturing to South Africa. Another good news story, the one that you've been in the news on recently, is Burger King. I don't know how good news that is, Hassan. It's not going to help the waistlines. But it might help your bottom line.
I can tell you that Burger King is a responsible burger, if you may call it. In America, they call it a sandwich, you know, and I just got back from all over the world. I've been in Germany to look at the factories. And Alec, what is amazing is we're starting, as of today, to build a plant in Elsie's River, which is also an area that is depressed in terms of employment, and we're going to build a huge facility there to supply the whole of Africa with protein products, which is the patties for the burgers. And the patty is a pure beef burger. There's nothing special about it. It's pure beef with no additives, no pepper, no salt, and that's why the American calls it a sandwich. And you know, Burger King's sort of slogan is "Have it your way." So you can have it your way by having salads on it and no mush or gunge on it, and it's your choice how you want the burger. So you can cut down the fat around the waistline by making quite sure that you design it your way.
And of course, ask for a diet.
It's been an amazing success.
Yeah. Ask for a Diet Coke when you ask for your burger and chips as well. But Hassan, where are you on the whole Burger King rollout?
Burger King has rolled out its first store in Adelaide Street in Cape Town, which is now our head office. We built our own 12-story building in Cape Town, and the bottom half houses Burger King. And it's an amazing success story. The queues hasn't stopped, and it's 3 months later, and our revenues have broken all records throughout the Burger King world. I can tell you we've opened in Tiger Valley, and again, you know, queues right around the mall, And we've just opened last week in Cavendish, and again, huge success stories. So the whole South Africa and Africa is waiting for Burger King. It's actually gone beyond my expectation in terms of demand. And so it must be a great burger, you know. I mean, apart from the fact that you're worried about your waistline, the QSR market in the world is picking up because, you know what, it's an easy way to access food, and whether you call it a extravagant way to eat, that's what people want, and that's what we're giving them, you know.
Hassan, what the deal with Sasol?
Sasol is an amazing deal. You know, we didn't know that the Burger King brand is in such a demand, and Sasol came to speak to us to ask for exclusivity. We have exclusivity with Sasol, although there are a few opportunities outside Sasol, but Sasol has basically signed an agreement for us to be the exclusive partner wherever you see Sasol outlets. So we'll be populating the forecourts with Burger Kings, and also putting in all sorts of drive-thrus with Burger Kings wherever you see Sasol. They are predominantly in the Gauteng or in the north, you know, so that's where most of these shops are going to be located, and it's a great opportunity for us because it gives us a market immediately into those areas.